Have you ever run a Google search ad and wondered what actually happens when someone types something into Google? You're not alone. Most business owners know they're spending money on clicks, but the mechanics behind it are surprisingly different from what most people assume. Here's a plain language breakdown of what's really going on. Every time someone types a query into Google, an auction happens before the page even loads. But it doesn't start with the bidding. First, Google decides whether that search is the kind that can show ads at all, because not every search is eligible. Once it qualifies, Google looks at every advertiser who might be able to show up for that query. This is where a lot of businesses get caught out. If you're running ads with broad match targeting, your ad could be pulled into auctions for search terms you never explicitly chose. The list of advertisers you're competing against is larger than you might realize. Google looks at your bid, your ad, your landing page, and how likely someone is to click. It bundles all of that together into something called ad rank, and that number determines who shows up, in what order, and what they pay. The whole thing happens in milliseconds before the results page appears. What you're actually doing is making yourself eligible to enter an auction every time someone searches a phrase that is like what you are targeting. Even if you've told Google you want to target pink ballet shoes, that doesn't guarantee you'll appear when those words are typed. You're just in the running, and what you do pay for is the click, not showing your ad. Businesses tend to describe their products and services in industry terms or internal language. Customers search based on whatever words come to mind when they have a problem. Those two things are often very different. An office supply business might be targeting the phrase ergonomic lumbar support chair, but a customer might just search chair for a sore back. We like to include as many phrases as we think your customers will type. Otherwise, you might miss a lot of the people who would actually buy from you. This is why Google claims broader campaigns outperform very narrow ones. When two businesses compete for the same search, the winner isn't always the one with the higher bid. Because ad rank factors in ad relevance, expected click-through rate, and landing page experience alongside your bid, a well-constructed ad can outrank a higher spending competitor and at a lower cost. Here's something that genuinely surprises many business owners. Google doesn't charge you your maximum bid. It charges you just enough to beat the person below you in the auction. So if your ad is significantly better than your nearest competitors, you might pay considerably less than you expected. Quality score, which is Google's rating of how relevant your ads and landing page are, isn't just a vanity metric. It directly affects what you pay and whether you show up at all. Low quality score means you're paying more for worse results. A lot of business owners try to search for their own ad to check if it's running, then think something is broken when they can't find it. Most of the time, nothing is wrong with the campaign. You're just not the right person to be searching. Google personalizes results based on your behavior. If you've been to your own website many times, Google knows you're not a prospective customer. It won't waste an ad impression on you when an actual buyer could see it instead. As well as this, every time you search your own ad and don't click it, you're hurting your click-through rate. Google sees an impression with no click and learns that your ad isn't relevant to that search term. Repeated enough times, this can lower your quality score and increase what you actually pay per click. Searching for your own ads can be harmful to do, even though it feels like a sensible check. The better way to know if your ads are showing is to look at search impression share in your account. This is a percentage that tells you what proportion of the available impressions you actually received. If your impression share is 80%, you're showing up for 80% of the eligible searches. If it's 20%, you're missing most of them, and the report will tell you why. Usually, it's budget constraints or low ad rank. In reality, it's hard to have an impression share higher than 40%, unless you are targeting a very niche search phrase. If a search campaign is set up and left alone, things can go wrong quickly, sometimes within a few days. Your ads can start appearing for queries that have nothing to do with your business, or for products and services that are least profitable. Your budget gets spent on clicks that never convert. This is especially common when broad match or AI targeting is used without proper negative keywords. Negative keywords are the terms you specifically tell Google you don't want to show up for. Without someone actively managing the campaign, the spend continues on these unwanted terms and you can waste a lot of money. There's an important distinction between a campaign that is technically running and one that is actually working. Ads being live and getting clicks is not the same thing as driving sales or leads. If you're generating traffic but no conversions, something is wrong. It could be the keywords, the targeting, the ads, or the landing page that people arrive at after clicking. The single most useful report to look at if you want to understand where your money is going is the search terms report. It shows you exactly what people typed before clicking your ad and what you paid for it. It's the clearest window into whether your campaign is reaching the right people or wasting budget on bad terms. Each time you increase your budget, you need to re-optimize your search campaigns because a higher spend has more chance of spending your money on things that don't convert. Google search ads work very well for both e-commerce and service businesses, but the results depend heavily on what's happening inside the account day to day. The auction, the targeting, the ad copy, the landing page, and the ongoing management all affect whether a click turns into a customer. Understanding these moving parts will make it much easier for you to get results from your Google search ads. If you're running Google search ads and they're not doing as well as they should, we're here to help. The Quantified Web is an Australian Google Ads management agency for established service businesses and for e-commerce stores nationally and internationally. We've been running Google Ads campaigns since 2017, currently managing around 40 client accounts. Inquire about a free Google Ads strategy plan, a detailed assessment of your current account, and a clear plan for fixing what's broken. Request yours today.